Hi, this is James. Welcome along. As beginner backpackers, my wife and I, along with our Labrador Emma, went for our first wilderness backpacking trip this summer. We went for a 5-day trip in Finnish Lapland, sleeping in the tent that we took with us. As anyone with an interest in backpacking will know, the price of equipment can be staggering, and the decisions needed on what to take can be pretty complex. After spending months on research and a lot of money on gear, I thought that I would summarise what we bought for the trip and how it performed out there. So this is the final part of the review series, and this time we'll take a look at the clothing and footwear that I bought in preparation for our trip. For a change of scenery, let's go outside. The first item that we'll have a look at is the Peak Performance Helium hooded down jacket. The purpose of this jacket was for use on extended breaks and at camp to keep warm. It could also be used while hiking, either instead of or underneath the outer shell, but it never got that cold that I would need it for this purpose. For me, wearing this jacket is like wearing a warm hug. I use it regularly from autumn through to spring. It's super lightweight, packs down to a small size, and is really warm and breathable, perfect for combination with a layer system. It's water resistant, so good in light showers, and you can put a rain jacket on top in heavier rain. So what we see here is the 3-litre Osprey dry bag that I used as a stuff sack since the jacket comes without one. It stores handily in the pocket of the jacket and is really handy to compress and pack down the jacket to fit inside a rucksack. It's not good for the jacket to keep it compressed for elongated periods of time, so I only compress it down when I need to save space on the go. There are 2 generous zip-up front pockets on the jacket which, as well as being good for storing items, serve nicely as hand warmers. The hood opening can be adjusted with an elastic cord and toggle on the back of the hood. This can really be closed up to keep wind out and keep yourself snug and warm. The waist and wrists of the jacket are elasticated, which also helps to keep wind or drafts out and keep the inside warm. This is a nice touch. Overall, this jacket's been my favourite clothing purchase of the last few years, so needless to say, I'm really happy with it. As far as downsides go, as with all down products that I've had experience with, it does lose the odd feather, but I don't think there's much you can do about that. There are some loose fabric fibres around the hood adjuster toggle where the cord's been tightened and loosened from time to time. And it would be a nice addition if the jacket came with its own purpose-made stuff sack, as is the case with some other brands. So moving on to the next item, which is the Halti Pallas Hybrid 2 jacket. It's a combination of Drymax waterproof material in the most exposed areas and stretchy, more breathable and water-resistant material in other areas. It kept me dry in all but the heaviest rain, and even then I only got a bit damp in the lower arms and waist. If the forecast was looking really wet for a trip, a different jacket with a full waterproof covering would be preferable. The excellent breathability combined with full-length protection offered by this jacket were especially good in the Lappish summer, where keeping the annoyance of mosquitoes, gnats and other biting insects to a minimum without overheating is a big plus. The 2 zip-up chest pockets are a good size, and I found them really handy for backpacking. Your standard jacket front pockets are further down near the waist and can be obstructed by the waist strap of a backpack. These were much more accessible. This jacket also offers really good wind protection, which is super important on those Lappish fells where it can get pretty chilly, especially when a strong northerly wind's blowing straight off the Arctic Ocean. As well as its increased breathability, another advantage to the X-Stretch material is its elasticity. It's really comfortable to use while active with no restriction of movement. There are 3 points of adjustability on this jacket. The wrists have Velcro straps. The hood opening has an elastic cord which can be adjusted via a toggle on the back of the hood, and this is stored underneath a waterproof flap. At the waist there's also an elastic cord that can be adjusted with two toggles inside the jacket. Overall, I'm really happy with this jacket. It's another item that I use regularly, pretty much every day from autumn to spring when I'm out with the dog, as well as other outdoor activities. The one downside would be that this is not an all-encompassing outer shell. As mentioned before, in wetter conditions you would want a separate rain jacket, and when packing for your trip you'll probably want to decide between the two jackets depending on the weather forecast. So next up, another Halti item, and these are the Lastu DX rain trousers. The full-length zips are really good for quickly and easily putting on or taking off the trousers when the weather changes, and you can leave your hiking boots on to do so. They're made from Dry Max waterproof material with waterproof zips. The trousers are super light and packed to a really small size. The elastic waist adjustment is really simple and easy to use. They have what I'd describe as a fitted shape, so they're fairly figure-hugging, but there's no issues with restrictive movement and there's a slight stretch to the fabric. The trousers are pretty tight at the ankles and very snug over boots. There's some Velcro adjustment there, but I never used it since it was already a bit of a struggle to even close the zips over the boots. This tightness at the ankles may also have been a reason for some water tightness issues that I had with the boots, but more on that later. There are also Velcro adjustment straps at the calves of these trousers, but I can't really work out why. As mentioned before, these trousers are fairly figure-hugging, so I don't know why I would want to tighten further around the calves. These performed really well in Lapland. They kept my legs and trousers dry in all the wet conditions. The only issues with waterproofing that I've had is when I've used them for cycling in heavy rain back home, and then the rain can land on your thighs, which is a more horizontal surface, and it's not so easy to stop the water going through. But these are really lightweight and highly breathable, so for hiking purposes, which is what I bought them for, I'd give them a big thumbs up. These trousers do have one outer pocket, which is a zip-up pocket. I think this is great and ample. My previous waterproof trousers haven't had any pockets at all, which can be quite annoying. So overall, the only things that I'm a bit unsure of are those tight ankles and the seemingly pointless calf tightening straps. But given the weight, size and overall functionality, I am really happy with these trousers for the purpose and give them a big thumbs up for backpacking. So on to my hiking boots, and these are the Boreal Mazama boots. I spent a long time in the shop trying on and testing various boots, and these fitted my foot shape very well. They have a good balance of being comfortable, supportive and flexible. I felt stable and supported crossing all terrain, and all terrain we certainly crossed in Lapland. They were also bought as a waterproof boot, which was really important. I chose these over another possible boot, which was higher and lighter, but a bit too specialised for Lapland or similar expeditions, and not so much for local hikes. They were also a lot more expensive. I wore in the boots for about 100 kilometres before Lapland, and had some initial blister issues from longer hikes in the heat, but this can be expected from any new boots. On our trip, they performed well until the conditions got wet and we had to cross the swamps. The inside of the boots got soaked, meaning wet socks and feet and several blisters. A change of socks only helped slightly since the boots were impossible to dry out for the rest of the week. I'm not sure how water got inside the boots, whether through the material or down through the top. Maybe the waterproof trousers being so tight around the ankles meant that water seeped through there, or maybe there was an occasional gap between the waterproof trousers and the low-cut back of the boot. In any case, the big priority of the boots keeping my feet dry wasn't achieved. My wife didn't have the same issue with her boots. These were also a new pair from the company Zambalan. Now, these boots aren't bad, and I'm happy to use them on day hikes and walking locally, though I do still get some heel rubbing on longer hikes. For backpacking or more extreme conditions, especially in Lapland, I would go for another boot. Maybe that one that I decided against in the shop. Those ones were also, as with my wife's boots, from Zambalan. I think they're actually hunting boots, but they were recommended to me especially for the Lapland expedition. They're very high at the ankles, super lightweight, and very stiff and supportive. They should also be really waterproof. I can't comment so much on that, as these boots should also have been waterproof, but then I had those issues. In the end, since I wasn't sure how often I'd be doing backpacking trips to Lapland or similar environments, and as mentioned before, there was quite a price difference, I decided to go with a boot that was more suitable maybe to my regular needs in the forests and mountains around Central Europe. The final item is a pair of Crocs classic clogs, and these were the alternative footwear to hiking boots. They're super comfortable, lightweight, dry really quickly, can stand up to all weather, and clip to the outside of a rucksack nice and easily with a couple of carabiners. You can use them around camp to relieve your feet from wearing hiking boots, or even just when having a long break from your day's hike. They're also really easy just to slip on or off when going in or out of the tent at camp. Now, pretty much all of this could be covered by a pair of sandals that fold flat. Where Crocs really come into their own is with river crossings, and in Lapland there can be quite a few river crossings. Now, I'm a fly fisherman who's used to wading a lot in running water, and these obviously aren't to compare with expensive wading boots, but they felt secure on the feet for wading in running water and offered reasonable grip. They protected you from jagged stone on the river bed, and the water flows right through them and they drain and dry super fast. So Crocs are obviously another multifunctional item. They can be used for much more than just backpacking. Whether that's in the garden, on a boat, at the swimming pool, or even just around the house, there's a lot of different places that they could be worn. So now we can see a demonstration of the shoe change for wading, and as a reminder of what it was like in Lapland in the summer, I did film this section in a spring creek at the end of November, which was, really toasty. Well, that brings to a close the backpacking gear review for 2022. If you have any questions about any of the gear, or if you have any video requests to do with backpacking or our Lapland trip, please do leave a comment in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed watching, please do leave a thumbs up, it makes me feel pretty good. All items from today's video are in the description below. Thanks for watching, see you next time.